Hello and welcome back to Uncle Paul Does Stuff. The stuff I'm going to be doing today is putting this piano back together, which you can see I've already done, but I'm going to show you how I did it. Okay, this is my Seiler piano from 1907. The idea is to restore it. It's in a already pretty good restorable condition. As you can see, I've put the keys back in since last time you saw it. So let's have a quick look at that. How do the keys play the note? Well, when I press a key, it moves that lever up and down. But as you can see, something's missing because no note is being played. This is what's missing. It's called the piano action. Now, if I put my fingers underneath here, you'll see there's a little bit of wood for each key. And when the key lever pushes upwards, this pushes through various lever mechanisms and fires the hammer at the strings. Now looking at the back of the action, you can see you've got the hammers, but you've also got these pads which are called dampers. And what happens is, when a key is played, you see, the damper lifts off the string and allows the hammer to hit the string and make a sound. And when you release the key, the damper falls back again and dampens the string to stop the sound. Now, I don't know much about pianos yet, but I can see on the hammers, you can see the grooves where the hammers have been hitting the strings. This usually means that the hammers have gone a bit hard and set and have been overused, which can make like a plinky sound when you play the piano, like an old saloon bar piano. This is also true for the dampers, which might mean that maybe they don't damp the sound as effectively as they should do. Just before I put the action back in the piano, I'm going to do this. Doesn't that sound amazing? Also, do you like the way my voice resonates all of the strings? That won't happen when I put the action back in properly because the dampers will touch the strings. Okay, I now have the action back in place. Had a little bit of a problem getting it close to the strings like it needed to be. But that's because, if we look down here, can you see at the bottom of the foot at the back, there's a round base? Well, that was screwed into the wood, and I needed to lift the action up and settle it into that base. But now we're done, you can probably hear that my voice isn't booming or resonating the strings as much as it was. Once the action is properly seated in place, then there's just a simple nut which gets screwed onto the end of this bolt, just hand tight, and that pulls the action right up to the strings. As you can see, it tips it back slightly because it's lifted this foot off the ground. And as well as having these nuts to screw on, one at each side, there's also a tiny little screw that goes in there for some reason. Okay, now that the action's in place, you can see the dampers are touching the strings, which means if I pluck the strings, the sound is killed off by those dampers, and the hammers are ready to hit the keys. And this is what it sounds like. Not very pretty, but it does sound like a good honky-tonk piano for a saloon bar in the Wild West of America. And now I fitted the name board along the back of the keys, which is this piece of wood here, which runs all the way across the piano. You can see there's no name on it, but you'll see why in a second. Next I'm going to fit the fallboard, which is the lid which covers the keys, and as you can see it has a name on it. Now this is a pain in the neck to fit because there's a groove in the side of it there, and there's a, I don't know what you call it, like a baffle, a piece of wood there, and one at each side, and you basically have to slide it on perfectly square or it jams. And there we are, the fallboard is fitted. Actually went in pretty easily, but as you can see it's got some water damage on the top of it, which has eaten through the varnish and damaged the veneer on the key. So that's one of the things I'm going to have to restore. And then when I open it, you can see the name. It looks pretty nice, but there's still one thing missing, you might think. Where's the front panel? Well, the guy who sold it to me, he didn't have the front panel. He'd removed it to make it easier to move, to reduce the weight, and then he lost it somehow, which is a shame because it looked quite ornate. I'll see if I can find a picture of it to put into this video. So that is my Ed Seiler 1907 upright piano put back together, and I think the next thing I'm going to try and do is tune it, which is a difficult task, but luckily there's a lot of videos on YouTube to help me. Until next time, this has been Uncle Paul Does Stuff.